Is Amir Khan ducking Kell Brook? So today, Amir Khan and Terence Crawford are going to be sitting in on their first press conference to announce the details behind their upcoming fight. Rumors are that it's going to be in New York, Madison Square Gardens, probably April time. When the news broke that Amir Khan was gonna fight Terence Crawford, meaning he won't be fighting Kell Brook, a lot of the fans in the UK were disappointed with this news, myself included. I really, really wanted to see Kell Brook and Khan finally fight. This kind of this feud between the both of them has been brewing for years. I'd say maybe 3, 4, 5 years. They've been going back and forth talking about each other, talking about how easily they'd knock each other out. And when Amir Khan signed with Eddie Hearn on a 3 fight deal, it felt like this is the time. The third fight would be a fight against Kell Brook. Obviously, that hasn't happened. He's chosen to fight Terence Crawford instead of Kell Brook on this occasion. But what I want to discuss is the question that I asked at the beginning of this video. Is Amir Khan ducking Kell Brook? Now, first and foremost, you have to say that Kell Brook has chosen to fight a fighter that is better than Kell Brook. He's more technically sound. He's he's a world champion at the weight, and he's kind of beaten a lot of high level fighters over the last 2 years or so. Kell Brook, on the other hand, after his loss to Errol Spence, he's kind of started a little bit. He's had a couple of, I think he's fought 3 times since losing to Errol Spence. His last performance wasn't up to standard, to be fair, and neither was Amir Khan's last performance. He got knocked down by a fighter he shouldn't be getting hit by. Now, with regards to the Kell Brook fight, I think there's 2 ways of looking at it. One, yes, Khan is fighting someone that's actually better than Kell Brook. He's fighting someone that's on many people's pound for pound list. He's fighting for the opportunity to win a world championship. But with this fight, he's the underdog. There's very little risk involved in this fight because not a lot of people expect him to win. Kind of like when he fought Canelo. He signed the fight to fight Canelo, and everyone commended him for stepping up a weight class and getting in the ring with Canelo. But no one really gave him a chance to win that fight, and we saw how that ended. He got himself knocked out in basically what was one of the knockouts of the year. It was a highlight knockout, and he was hurt. It was a one punch, and he couldn't get up. Now, when we look at the not just fighting Kell Brook itself, but everything that's involved in it, all the stuff that's happened in the past, all the words that they've exchanged, and the bragging rights involved. It's kind of like the only way I can describe it is almost like a derby. If you watch other sports such as football over here in the UK, it's kind of like a big derby where you play the team most local to you, and there's a lot of pride at stake, and there's a lot of risk involved with the fact that if you lose that fight, that's going to stay with you forever. If Khan was to lose to Kell Brook, or vice versa, if Brook is to lose to Khan, or was to lose to Khan, if they were going to fight, that would be probably a loss that would hurt the most for each fighter. Not physically, I'm talking mentally. Um, they both live up north in England, not far apart from each other, move in the same kind of boxing circles. A lot of people know, they have a lot of mutual kind of acquaintances and friends and things of that nature. So I suppose what I'm trying to say is, yes, he's stepping up to fight Terence Crawford, Amir Khan, and yes, it's a lot more unlikely that he would beat Terence Crawford if we're comparing his chances with Amir Khan against Crawford and Kell Brook. He's got a lot better chance of actually winning a fight against Kell Brook. But what he also has the freedom of in a fight with Terence Crawford is a lot less pressure and a lot less risk, and the ramifications of a loss are less taxing emotionally, mentally, etc. So I've never really thought that Amir Khan genuinely believed that he can beat Kell Brook. I've always felt that uh, Amir Khan knows that it's a risky fight for him. He knows that Kell Brook um, can hit. He knows he's a hard puncher, and he knows deep down that his defensive frailties would give Kell Brook the opportunity to land that one punch that could potentially knock Khan out. Now, I'm not saying that's a foregone conclusion. I'm not saying if they were going to fight, Kell Brook would beat Khan 10 times out of 10. What I am saying is the a defeat would be a lot more damaging against Kell Brook than it is if or when, which is the general consensus, if he loses to Terence Crawford. Now, if we look at it the other way, if Khan does go ahead and beat Terence Crawford, then this decision that he's making paid off. If he goes and wins that fight, then there's no arguing then, is there? Because basically what he's done is he's stepped up, he's fought a fighter that's better than Kell Brook, and he's won that fight, and he's won a belt, and he's put himself in the conversation with the likes of Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, and also the Garcia fight is there. The rematch is there for him if he was to beat Terence Crawford. Having said that, I I can't say Khan's ducking Kell Brook, but I think he's ducking the stage, if that makes sense. He's not ducking a fighter of Kell Brook's Kell Brook's what's the right word? He's not ducking a fighter of Kell Brook's ability because he's fighting someone that's better than Kell Brook. But what he is ducking is the stage. He's ducking the pressure, and he's ducking the stakes that are in play here, and that's what he's ducking. He's ducking a real grudge match. He's ducking the opportunity to make more money fighting Kell Brook than he is making to fight Terence Crawford. Um, but what I feel deep down in his core, he knows that this fight is too risky in terms of for both of them, Kell Brook and Amir Khan. A loss in this fight would be very damaging for both fighters. Kell Brook, on the other hand, he's 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 very vocal about wanting the fight. Um, if Eddie Hearn's to be believed, he's made a number of adjustments in what he felt his value is in the fight. He agreed to this rehydration clause that Khan wanted, where he couldn't put on more than 10 pounds the day of the fight after weighing in at 147 pounds. So he's made a lot of sacrifices to get this fight done. So to me, that means one of two things: either Kell Brook is supremely confident that if he's in the ring with Khan, he's going to beat him, or two, Kell Brook's career has basically stagnated since his loss to Errol Spence, and this is the biggest fight out there for him. They're talking about Kell Brook fighting at 154 pounds against Jared Hurd or Horn or someone of that nature, or Vargas, I think, at 147. But none of these names are at the same level as a Terence Crawford. If Kell Brook wants to stay at 147, the names that really he needs to be fighting, if it's not Khan, are the Garcias, Thurmans, Spence rematch, things, those kind of fights. Those are the big fights for Kell Brook. But given that he's not in those conversations, the only real kind of name out there for him that would generate the interest and kind of propel him up into the upper echelon of that division would be a win against Amir Khan. And Amir Khan isn't giving him the opportunity. It has to be said. Khan has always kind of had the stance that, oh, I've made all the money that I need to make. I'm the bigger fighter. I've fought all the world class opponents. Who has Kell Brook fought, etc., etc. That's kind of been Khan's stance on Kell Brook. Kell Brook's fight's always going to be there, but I personally feel that Khan knows the magnitude of the fight with Kell Brook. It would be, it wouldn't be for a title, but it would be a lot. The fight would be a lot bigger than the Terence Crawford fight, in my opinion, in the UK anyway. It's a more meaningful fight, even though there's no title on the line. It means a lot. It kind of it crowns the king of that era of fighter, but of Kell Brook and Khan. And when I say era, I mean at one stage they were both champions of that division, and I think I think actually no, was I don't know if Khan actually ever did win a 147 title. I know he was the 140 champion. Anyway, I'm getting muddled up. I should have done some research. But with what I'm trying to say is these two have been going back and forth for maybe 6, 7, 8 years now. They've been kind of saying each other's name, and a fight between them would give you a definitive answer of who's the better fighter. Right now, on paper, you have to say Khan's kind of established himself as more of a, he's achieved more in his career than Khan. So because of that, he can say, well, I'm the bigger name, I'm the better fighter. But that's not always the case. Styles make fights, as I say. And yeah, I can't say Khan's ducking Kell Brook, but what I can say is he's ducking the stage, and he's ducking the magnitude. This is a big high pressure fight, and he's ducking it. So it's not Kell Brook per se, but it's everything around it that he's ducking. All the things that come with fighting Kell Brook. That's what he's ducking. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Khan's choice of his next fight. Yeah, see you guys later.